Oh, shoot.
Teach her English. And she was truly a second mother to me. And so when I think about my family, I think about Oakland and its beautiful diversity. Here in Oakland, I have talked and visited with many in living rooms at community events, at church services. Here in Oakland, I have visited many farmers markets and neighborhoods over the past many years, and especially in the last 5 months. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your stories and continuing to inspire and encourage me to meet this moment. You were clear about the need to transform Oakland into a safer and cleaner city. Very clear. Very clear. And you were clear about wanting a government that you can trust, to solve our fiscal challenges, safety, housing, and homelessness challenges, and to create good paying union jobs and economic development. And you were 100% clear always about how much you loved Oakland. We love life in Oakland, don't we? We love life in Oakland. So over the last month, my transition team has been working so hard at work building a team that can deliver on my 100-day plan, which is a 10-point program. So let me thank my transition team, of course, co-chairs Barb Leslie and Keith Brown, Danny Nguyen, our director. Thank you, Danny, very much for doing the heavy lifting. Ben Rosenfield and Barbara Parker for helping to ensure a smooth, ready-to-lead transition into the mayor's office. And I want to thank Mia Saika-Chen. Where's Mia? Go Mia, for answering the call. She knows it's a tough job. But she has already answered the call as my chief of staff. And to council member, Mr. President Kevin Jenkins. Where's Kevin? My mentor. You've been holding down 2 jobs for months now. Thank you so much for your mentorship and your advice. And thank you for your continued leadership and continued service. And I look forward to working with you now in my official capacity. And to all of our phenomenal, and I mean phenomenal city council members, they have been so much of my life as my mentors also. But more importantly, I just want to say to them, you are my friends. And I want to thank you. Give our council members a round of applause. Oakland members, Oaklanders expect and demand that we must govern in a new way. And y'all know me, right? Where there's a will, there's a way. And it starts with the people. There's a saying that people closest to the challenges are the ones closest to the solutions. Over the next 100 days, we will bring Oaklanders from all walks of life to help inform how our government can better serve the people and usher in a new era of prosperity and progress. And I don't mean task forces that are going to continue and continue and continue. I'm talking about action plans, what we can do immediately and long term. Y'all know me, right? We will keep the public informed all along the way. Our working groups, our listening sessions, our community forums, and neighborhood meetings, you'll be getting updates of this work and it'll be posted online. Our working groups range from good governance, public safety, public-private partnerships, large employers, small businesses, youth, arts and culture, economic development, tech, Interfaith Advisory Council, and more. There's no time to waste. Oaklanders deserve transparency, accountability, and results starting now. Starting now. And so I've begun meeting already with county, state, and federal officials and business and philanthropy partners to identify investments, alliances, resources, and funding streams to Oakland for homelessness, affordable housing, healthy food access, infrastructure, clean energy, economic development, arts and culture, and innovation, and more. And the response has been incredibly positive. I'm also clear-eyed that Oakland, like many cities across California and our nation, is projected to have a substantial budget shortfall over the next 2 years. These budget deficits didn't happen overnight, and they will require both short-term and long-term structural solutions to solve Oakland's budget challenges. We have the best minds and the best financial advisors, and we'll have more. And with my team, I plan to immediately review areas of concern, including Oakland's expenditures and obligations, its budget assumptions, a strategy to collect money owed to the city, making sure, right? You all know what I'm talking about? Making sure taxpayer dollars are being spent efficiently, and the impact of federal budget cuts on local Oakland programs. And I'm grateful for the perspectives of everyone. And I want to thank our city administrator, Justin, thank you very much for steadying the ship for all of us and for your advice and your leadership. So as your mayor, my job is to lead our city out of a budget crisis and a period of financial stability. Not gonna be easy, but we're gonna do everything we can do, everything. And we can only do this together if we have a strong and vibrant downtown, thriving small businesses in every single Oakland neighborhood, and those that preserve the character of our great city and contribute to our vitality, and a city that welcomes investment, and also a city that values our artists and our cultural workers and our restaurants and all of that that makes Oakland, Oakland. And so just thank you all for being here on my first, is this my first official day as the mayor of Oakland? First day. First day. And I'd like to end with a quote from a very good friend of mine, the late, great Maya Angelou, whose late son was my friend Guy. Guy grew up and lived right here in Oakland. Dr. Angelou said, "Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise." Oakland, yes, today, what are we gonna do? We rise. All right, thank you. God bless you.
First female mayor of Oakland. That's awesome. That's awesome. I don't see any TV cameras around there. If they are, maybe they're tucked away. I don't see anything up close. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. What did you think of her speech? I wondered, what she meant by, I wonder who in the business community she contacted. And, yeah, I'd like to know, right? Also, there will be a copy of this at KTOP, so I'll download that. So if you came in and thought, hey, the sound wasn't working right. Well, guess what? There is a downloaded version for that I will get once it's available. And so it's a full video, and I'm surprised actually it's not something like, well, yeah, it hasn't quite rendered yet. So right now it's just the stream, but it will be. It will be. So now the broadcast is over. It's completed. Yeah, as you can see. Okay. And so then, yeah. So then I will get the download and upload that separately. And I can add my comments in it. Well, I'm adding my comments here. I think that the job that we can now say Mayor Lee has is a big one because we're under, we don't have enough investment. And what I mean by that is very simply, we don't have enough money going in to build new affordable housing, new structures. But not only that, we don't have enough money to really refurbish what's already there. And we have people running around tagging properties. The city fines the property owner and the business owner for that. But what the city really should be doing is providing economic assistance to the business to clean up the graffiti rather than foisting the cost on the business. And we have to have commercials that trumpet the good about Oakland nationwide. I'm here in Georgia. I don't see any commercial about Georgia at all. I mean, it's shown in Georgia here at all. Nothing. Not, hey, Oakland, open for business. We don't have anything like that. So if we want to come back, we have to recognize that we lost a worldwide and nationwide platform when we had 3 major sports teams. That was free marketing. We've done nothing to replace that. And what is in its place are video after video after video after video of our problems. And nothing, no solutions, save for what I might put out. That's it. Sure, news reports which claim to be objective, but no advocacy, nothing. And there's no big thinking either. What I would love to see from Mayor Lee is opening the floodgates to economic development. Oakland is open for business. I would have loved to hear her announce, Oakland is open for business. In this new Oakland, we will help your business. We will help your business stay in its place. If you need help with paying the rent, we can do that. We're going to figure out how to do it money-wise. With tax increment financing, we can do it. We're going to do it with negotiations with your landlord, with helping you buy a property if necessary. We're going to do old-fashioned economic development. That's what people want to hear. That's what business owners, small business owners want to hear. That Oakland is open for business. Oakland is open for business. We're not hearing that. Open for business does not mean more market rate housing to make people homeless. Oakland open for business means that we have an economic development mechanism to assist business, to help market business. That we put out the call for businesses to move to Oakland nationwide and worldwide. And we have a mechanism to accept businesses when they come here, even before they want to come here. That's what I mean by Oakland is open for business. And that's That's the song Mayor Lee needs to sing in order to come back. Oh, thank you, Carol. What did you think of her speech, by the way? Uh, it was short, and I would love to see her surround herself. For example, it would be great for her to have at her ceremony the chairman of Disney and the chairman of General Motors and the chairman of Apple right next to her. Boom, 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 okay? Um, Trill says, why would anyone want to work with us? Look what happened to OBOT, the Oakland Bulk and Oversized Terminal. We are a bad city to do business in. Well, that's a fair question, but the reason we're a bad city to do business in is because our government doesn't know how to do business. But here's the catch. We used to. When I started working for Oakland in September 16th of 1985, 87, excuse me, hey, 85, September 16th, 1985. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. I graduated in 1987 from Cal. September 16th of 87, I started working for the Oakland Redevelopment Agency. September 16th, 1987, as an intern in economic development. That Oakland, yeah, we had a gigantic problem with institutional investor racism. But everybody knew all we needed to do was continue to build and provide our subsidy programs. And then Jerry Brown became our and was the mayor. And Jerry Brown, what Jerry Brown did was he erased the institutional investor racism that had been plaguing Oakland prior to his arrival, prior to his victory as mayor elect, or as mayor, excuse me, to become mayor elect. But what Jerry didn't do, though, the problem with Jerry is that Jerry, as it turned out, hated affordable housing, subsidized housing. He envisioned expensive housing, and he had not a care in the world for getting help to people who needed to stay in their places. And the reason I'm not saying that as my observation, that was Jerry's statement to Joan Walsh in Salon, saying that he didn't want assisted housing sullying his elegant density. He said that. He also said that he was trying to get rid of the black power structure. But anyone who knows Oakland knows that we really never had a black power structure. What we had is fairness so that talented African Americans or people who maybe weren't even talented could get work in both the city, public and private, right? Okay. And, all right. And this is the affordable housing projects help black people. Well, of course. Or enable us. Well, of course. But it's more than that. It's more than that. It's being able to get assistance for your business. It's being able to run your business cheaply, which goes with being affordable. Okay. It's being able to have business assistance so that if somebody tags your property with graffiti, you don't have to worry about cleaning up. The city will clean it up for you if you're in a business improvement district or downtown, because we've used tax increment financing to gain the money to have a set aside for a fund for facade improvement. All right? That's good economic development. That's the way economic development is done. We have not used tax increment financing since it was reintroduced by SB 628 bill when California Governor Jerry Brown signed it into law September 21st, if memory serves, 2015. And we've had several variations of it to the point where, get this, as of September 22nd of last year, 2024, AB 819, AB 819 Waldron, Assemblyman Waldron, was passed. What does that do? Guess what? It allows the use of tax increment financing for the construction and rehabilitation of fire stations. So guess what we could do, folks? We could establish a tax increment financing zone, a combination of them consisting of different areas of the city, and gain that 40 million, right, to build those new fire stations or keep them open. All right? That's what we can do. Now, for those of you who would say, well, hey, how do we, does that mean we could directly pay the labor cost of it? No, it doesn't. But we can give it to the city as a pass through. All right. And the city can use that pass through amount to then fund the 40 million for the fire stations. That way we are legally clean. Understand what I'm saying? These are the things that we can do mechanistically to improve Oakland. But Oakland hasn't done it. And I've screened bloody murder. I've said, hey, hire me. I said to Libby, hire me for the A's, hire me as a consultant. I said to Ellie, you hire me as economic development, director. That was way back in 1999, 98 going to 99. But Bill Claggett got that job. So what did I do? I started the Oakland Alameda County Sports Commission from scratch. Came this close to bringing the 2005 Super Bowl to Oakland. We lost by 8 votes to Jacksonville. And along the way discovered that Jerry Brown was so upset that I got so far, he bet against me, that I found out that they were meeting with a CEO group. I didn't even know about it. About the sponsorship plan that I developed that Mike Lynch, the head of global sponsorships for Visa, blessed on an airline flight, United Airlines flight from New York to San Francisco that we just happened to be on. That's how my life works. And hey, look, I wrote an email, which I shouldn't have written, but I wrote it. And maybe I should have. I did. I wrote an email accusing the mayor of not being comfortable with African Americans who were intellectually aggressive, or as Chip Johnson in the San Francisco Chronicle put it, racist. I didn't give Chip that email. I believe a friend I'm not going to mention did. I thought it was wrong. I thought it was very wrong. And so, okay. And so my point is, I have worked tooth and nail to improve Oakland. I brought Forest City to Oakland. That was me. Larry Reed will tell you that. Former Oakland District K7 council member. Iris Marins, who worked for Larry, will tell you that. Myself, with Kofi Bonner, John Russo, Larry Reed, Robert Bob was there. I contacted Forest City. I set up the meeting in Las Vegas at the International Council Shopping Center Spring Convention. This was in 1997. And I gave the pitch as to why Forest City should be in Oakland to develop the 2 million square foot Uptown Entertainment District. And they were going to be the master developer. We were going to have a competition with different developers, and we have these models set up in City Hall, and the public can actually vote on the model they wanted. And that plus a $140 million subsidy from us, fixed already, right, would be what was going to be built. It would have been glorious, kind of like the gas lamp district in San Diego. Okay? These are the things we can do. These are the things I would have done. These are the things we still can do because we haven't done anything. We have great buildings here and there, but we have no coherent design that looks great. We have no cobblestones. We have uneven sidewalks. You know what I'm saying. This is ridiculous. And all this is doable. All of this is doable. All of it. Okay? So does affordable housing help? I answered that. Our city council members are more concerned with using things like unhoused people and crime to receive funding of a problem that will never be resolved. Truly none of these people are fit to improve us. I don't want to say that. I simply believe that they don't know about the tool of tax increment financing, and they need to be comfortable with the idea that there are organizations worth billions and trillions that will invest in Oakland, but you've got to have a plan. You got to have public money behind it. You can't do it and say, hey, spend all your money and we won't spend any of ours. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You have to spend something to get something. And what you're spending assists that business to take that risk. Because we can't ask businesses to take risk if we ourselves are not willing to figure out how to pay for part of that risk. And that is where tax increment financing comes in, folks. That is where it is. He says, whoops, I got that one. He says, is the problem Oakland doesn't have enough debt? Is that an indicator of no planning? No, that's not the problem. He says, does that point to no development? No, Oakland has development. That's not the problem. Oakland does not invest in new development to replace what we have, let alone cause enough tax revenue to be generated so that we have enough money to provide services. And so, look, the common city works on property tax revenues, all right? In Oakland's case, about 15%, 17% in that area of our revenue comes from property taxes, okay? In Orlando, by contrast, it's 47%. We do not, that's because of the tax rate difference between Florida, of course, and California. That's one reason. But the other reason is we spent so much time on housing that we haven't built enough facilities to produce revenue. Now, some would say, well, retail's dead because of, computerization and the internet and everything. But look, there's live entertainment. Sports is tourism. Sports tourism is an industry now. We let our 3 sports teams go. We got to get them back in some kind of way. We have to get Major League Sports back, or we will never improve this economy. Last Friday, when the Golden State Valkyries played, marked the first time in history that San Francisco had active Major League teams and Oakland had none. Officially, none. And we were shut out. You say the WNBA is headquartered in Oakland, that doesn't matter. Sports tourism is about where the event itself happens, and that happens at Chase Center. The Super Bowl will happen in Santa Clara. Will Oakland get a piece of it? I don't see it. By this time, 10 years ago, because we had the Raiders, we knew that the NFL Gospel Series was going to be at the Fox Theater. Right now, what do we know right now? Nothing. Nothing. Okay? Nothing. Should we have a major museum and a sport? We have a museum. The Oakland Museum is that. Sports museum, great idea. But why not fuse the sports museum into a new sports facility at the Coliseum? We have the infrastructure set up. We have it. We have the freeways. MK says Oakland is afraid of leveraging power. I like this. They even let the Warriors go by Golden State instead of Oakland when they came here. Yeah, that's right. And not only that, we didn't fight to keep the Warriors in Oakland. I thought lawsuit was going to be out the window for economic tampering. I even went around I asked Ignacio about it on the very day that the Warriors had their 2012 party, right? Guess what? Nothing happened. They did absolutely nothing. And so we have to stop this thing or we don't do anything, and we have to be proactive. And we have to have people that are willing to be proactive. And I'll be candid with you. I don't know of anybody that Barbara Lee has working in her transition team that is that person. I am that person. They're scared. They don't like me because I'm aggressive. They don't want to sit back and be cool and be happy with their positions and everything. I'm not happy because Oakland is underdeveloped. We in areas look like a third world country, and we don't need to. Okay? And it is a matter of conservative versus liberal. Forget it. That's not really Oakland anyway. It's a matter. Oakland is the key place for small business. Where do you think our artist community came from? Our restaurants, everything else, criminally underdeveloped. Yeah, all right. You can't have art without affordable places to live. If Oakland didn't have it, there would be no art. There would be no place. We can redo it again, but we have to have a government that's willing to work hard to make it happen. And I'm just being honest. The government, as we have it now, the city administrator will say, "Well, we need a police strategic technology plan. That's going to take 12 to 18 months. You can write that thing in 2 hours. I can write one in 2 hours. That's it. It doesn't take a lot of time." But that's what he told the grand jury. We have a Coliseum GAPA that won't even. They had a meeting Monday. Did you see the video from it? Nope, I didn't. Yet they say they're recording the meeting, yet you can't get to it. That's against Brown Act law. It's illegal. They did that to me. Okay? We have a government that isn't willing to do its best. And Barbara is going to have to come in and make that government work. Which means she's going to have to ruffle some feathers. That's just the way it is. Because there are too many people who are too comfortable with their position. There are too many people who are like, okay, they're quick to tell you what they're doing on social media, but then look, the city looks like it does. Enough of this. Oakland Park's budget is 334 million. San Francisco's 240 million, only double the population. Yep, but San Francisco has more money. It's not that we can't get that money. We have to be aggressive. We have to go after the Dan Gilberts of the world and say, hey, you know what? We want a rocket mortgage West Coast annex in Oakland. And here's our plan for it. And here's where we can have you play. And here's where we can marshal up the force. We want you downtown. All right? All right? It says Lee's first act was helping Jenkins on the budget, planning for a new parcel tax next year to close the deficit, which we didn't need to do. We could have done it through tax increment financing. That's what we used to do. Yeah, we had deficits in the past, but guess what? You know how much the deficits were, folks? 18 million, 4 million, maybe 40 million tops. Now they're a lot bigger because we don't use tax increment financing as an extra source of revenue to pay our people. That is a fact. All right? That is a fact. Okay? He said, it doesn't matter that some of these council members have never negotiated a deal, let alone a deal work. Not supposed to. All right? The council members are supposed to trust their staff to do that. The city council is not supposed to be running the city. They're oversight. The chief administrative officer runs the city. The council has to be able to trust the CAO. And the CAO in turn is supposed to employ competent deal makers in economic development and housing and finance who work with investment bankers to come up with a plan. All right? That's what's supposed to happen. Carol Pfeiffer is a major reason West Oakland BART development was delayed. Don't know the answer to that question, but my whole point is nobody in Oakland works alone. That's delayed because staff delayed it. That wasn't Carol. Okay? All right? So there's no one works alone. And not only that, because my point is, if Carol had a request or something that she wanted to change, the staff could do it like that if they knew what they were doing. My claim, my retort, my assertion is that the city staff does not know what it's doing and is afraid to act. When you know what you're doing, you're not afraid to act. It doesn't matter who's involved. It doesn't matter who's watching. 2 people, 2 million, 200 billion people, it doesn't matter. All right, folks, I got to get going. But hey, live long and prosper. I'll be back later. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube here. Bookmark OaklandNewsOnline.com, ZennyReport.com, Zenny62blog.com, OaklandNewsNowblog.com. Thanks. I'll see you all later. Thank you. Great questions, too. Thank you for that. I'll be back. I'll be back, as Arnold would say. I'll be back.